In this video, I'm going to show you how to play Warzone solos by breaking down the gameplay of Call of Duty Team Quadfecta veteran player Olig-wan. One of the first tips I want to mention is that you always should try to drop on a scavenger contract because these things are the fastest and easiest way to get enough money for your loadout, which should be your top priority early game like this. Plus you get an armor satchel, you get better guns than if you're picking up just normal crates. Focus on getting a decent SMG, like an XM4, a PPSH, Tech 9, not just the gray Tech 9. Those are just single-shot weapons. They're terrible. So getting a good SMG, good secondary is really important because this is going to be your secondary until you get your second loadout. Make sure you're aggressive on the drop because it's going to be contested. The scavengers are always contested. So just make sure you're very aggressive, get that scavenger, and if you lose the scavenger, find a new one. So this is a really good example of the new time to kill in the game. You really have a lot of opportunity, even if you get shot at first, as long as you keep your wits about you and just make sure you react quickly and hit your shots, you can still win gunfights even if you get shot first. This is new to Warzone just within the last month or so, just since Season 5, basically Season 5 Reloaded. So make sure you take advantage of that. Okay, so audio cues. Not only did Olig-wan hear the announcer tell him somebody's dropping in, but he heard that guy's parachute as he was dropping in. So that guy made the mistake of dropping in very, very close to somebody, and he didn't react fast enough to get the kill, so Olig-wan did. Here's another example of listening for audio cues. See how easily he was able to know there was somebody there, and he was able to take him out before the other guy even knew what was going on. So he might have been playing on a TV with no headphones or something like that. Get a good headset. If you want to hear audio cues very well, you need to have a good headset so you can hear those. You're probably not going to hear them just playing on a TV with speakers or a computer even with speakers unless you can crank them up real loud. But in most cases, having a good headset is going to really serve you much better.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Alright, another really good example of the time to kill. Olig-wan was getting shot at first, but he was able to react quickly, react efficiently and effectively, and he took out the enemy. Alright, so you can see here Olig-wan's top priority is getting the scavenger, finishing this contract, because this is how he's going to get the most money in the fastest possible way. His main goal right now is getting his loadout. Buying his loadout costs $10,000, so he needs to get as much as he can as fast as he can. More audio cues. Another enemy down. He's already up to 5 kills. In solos, 5 kills this early in the game is very good. So Olig-wan is doing very, very well. And now he's got enough money for a loadout, so that's what he's doing. He's heading right to a buy station to buy his loadout. He's also going to look around to make sure that he's in a safe enough place to have his loadout drop on him.
Loadout drop inbound.
At this point, somebody comes driving by, and he's just, I know Olig-wan is just really surprised they didn't get out and attack him, because usually when that red smoke pops, everybody's on the hunt for you. So, he got a little bit lucky there that nobody, got out and tried to attack him while he was getting his loadout, but I have a feeling Olig-wan could have dealt with him anyway. So the reason why getting your loadout as soon as possible is so important is because having a gun with meta attachments on it that maximizes the effectiveness of that weapon is the best way to get a leg up on the competition in Warzone. And you want to have that advantage as quickly as possible, as early as possible in the game. So with your first loadout, make sure you get your favorite longer range weapon. And this is because most of your engagements are probably going to be at mid to long range. And then with the closer range engagements that you do have, that halfway decent secondary that I said you should pick up as soon as you can in the game. That's what you'll be using until you get your next loadout, which will probably be that free one that drops like within, 10 seconds before the first circle closes or something like that. You'll be able to see it when it happens here in Olig-wan's game.
Objective marked. Next objective located.
And there it is. That's the free loadout. So with that one, Olig-wan is going to get his preferred secondary of choice. But until then, he's been using something else as a secondary. Just make sure, in my opinion, having a fast, close range secondary is really, really important. To me, SMGs are the best option there. I really like the PPSH, but we're in a meta right now where you can use just about any SMG, and it's going to be pretty effective. So Olig-wan is using the C58 for his primary, and he's using the Modern Warfare MP5 as a secondary. The Modern Warfare MP5 is a great hipfire gun. It has a good time to kill. The C58 is a pretty powerful gun. It doesn't have the TTKs, the time to kill, of some of the other guns in the game. But if you're accurate and you can hit headshots at a pretty high percentage of the time, the C58 has one of the best headshot time to kills in the entire game of any assault rifle. That's useful at long range. There are a couple other guns that have higher TTKs with headshots, but they're unusable at range, like the FAL, for example.
Tagging bounty contract. Go get it.
So you notice how Olig-wan is being very cautious here. It's important to move with purpose, move as quickly but as carefully and silently as you can. Solos is very campy. A lot of people will just find a dark corner and hide, waiting for somebody to run across their path, and then they'll kill them, and that'll be the only kill of the game they get. So you don't want to fall victim to that kind of play, but it's all over the place in solos, depending on your lobby. So it's important to be able to move quietly, but you also don't want to crouch walk over the entire map, because the slower you move, the easier you are to kill. You can be sniped easily. Somebody can get you in their sights at a distance and kill you with their assault rifle or their LMG. It's just very easy to kill somebody who's crouch walking around the map. So don't do that. Crouch walk when you need to be quiet, but otherwise move efficiently, effectively, with purpose, and be slide canceling, jumping. It's harder to shoot you and kill you when you're moving. That's the bottom line. Also, take bounties. If you're not generally good at them, just keep trying them, right? And if you don't pursue the bounty, still take the contract, because even if you don't want to go after them, maybe you're not at that stage of your gameplay yet, somebody else might kill them and you'll get the money for it, or some money for it. So don't be afraid to pick up bounties. Go for it. And another major advantage of bounties is you know where your enemy is. It's kind of like a targeted, honed-in UAV. So definitely take bounties. It's a good strategy, good tactic. And if you can successfully hunt down and eliminate bounties, that's a really fun way to play Warzone. So Olig-wan is moving with an abundance of caution here. I know for a fact, playing with him for a very long time. I've played Call of Duty with Olig-wan since Call of Duty games existed, pretty much. And I played Warzone with him since the day that game came out. And he's been killed by campers more times than he can probably count or care to remember. I'm in the same boat. So it's really easy for us to get overcautious when we're playing the game. However, it pays off sometimes when you know your enemy is there and they don't know you're there. So that is an element of unpredictability that Olig-wan had there, and the enemy did not know where he was until it was too late. And Olig-wan knew where he was. He saw him first. And that MP5 with the hipfire, very effective. So now Olig-wan is at 6 kills. with 43 players left in the map, and he's still pursuing this bounty, and he's got a plan of action. That's really important in solos. Always know what your next step is, what your next plan is, obviously with the end goal of being the last player alive on the map. So for me personally, I know for Olig-wan too, it's also important to us to get as many kills as we can, because to us, that's just a fun way to play the game. So I recommend you try to play it that way. Get better at it. You know, just, you got to practice it. You got to play to get better. Warzone is like that. And I guess, you know, BRs really in general are too. The more you play, the better you will get. Also, look for yellow beacons rising into the sky. That'll tell you that somebody's doing a recon contract. And when they're doing recons, they're usually pretty easy to pick off. That's 7 kills for Olig-wan with 35 players left. Okay, no hit on that stun, but Olig-wan still has kind of an idea where this guy is. Wow. So that was close, and Olig-wan was jumping around right outside where this guy was. So if Olig-wan had reacted just a split second too late, he would have lost that gunfight. Fortunately, the hipfire of the MP5, Olig's shots were on. He drop shotted, which means he dropped to the ground as he was firing. All those things combined allowed him to win that gunfight. So a little bit of luck there, but also a lot of skill involved, and that's just how solos is.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
Alright, so it looks like Olig-wan might be either going for that next bounty or just trying to get some high ground. A lot of times getting high ground in Warzone can really give you an advantage over your enemies, because it isn't 100% natural to be constantly scanning higher levels around you in the game. You have to really think about it, and a lot of players aren't doing it. So if you're above them looking down, you have an advantage. Plus, when they take cover, depending on your angle, you have a better shot at them. You have a much easier time hitting them and killing them. So a lot of times getting high ground, especially when you're playing in places like downtown, a lot of times the highest ground wins, so which can be frustrating, but that's just part of the game.
Enemy UAV overhead. Gas is closing in.
Something you have to deal with too if you're playing in downtown, even more than other parts of the map, is people just camping in buildings. You know, they'll do a couple of recons. They can have a really good guess at where the final zone is going to be, and they'll just go to a building there, and they'll just find a dark corner and sit there. So that's the kind of thing you're going to run into in Warzone. But you know, that's why I said taking bounties is so important, because if you can push a bounty successfully and you can take them out and kill them, that's what you can do to guys camping in dark corners in these buildings too. The same thing, same tactics and strategy works with any player that's camping in a building. So that's great practice. Take the bounties, go after them, go get them, find them, hunt them down, kill them, and don't be afraid of the guys that might be camping in dark corners, because a lot of times the aggressive player wins in Warzone. Just make sure you keep your head on a swivel. Look for audio cues, use your senses, your eyes, your ears, and make sure you hit your shots. Keep your cool, stay calm. These are the skills that'll get you wins and more kills in Warzone. All right, so Olig sees somebody down there, way down by bank. Yep, there's a fight. Yeah. And he decided to help take out somebody else's target, but that's okay. So one thing good to note in solos too, and any of the game modes, use the gas to your advantage. If you have the gas always to one side of you, that's one side that you can pretty much guarantee there aren't going to be any enemies coming at you from. So in this case, Olig knows the gas is to his back. He has some high ground on bank here. He's sitting in a pretty decent spot. As long as he doesn't have somebody at a taller building around him that's not in the gas, that can shoot down on him, he's in a good spot. So from here on, he just needs to keep his cool, play it smart, and we'll see where he goes. So that's that high ground advantage I was talking about. See, the people down below him had no idea he was up there. And he was able to easily look over the edge, look down on him. They had zero opportunity for cover, and he was just able to destroy him. That guy too. So high ground in a lot of cases is definitely beneficial.
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone. Gas is inbound.
So this is end game, right? And this is when things really get kind of a little bit nerve-wracking, but pretty exciting. So he's playing it very cautiously. He does have a durable gas mask, which means it's longer lasting. You see that gold color in the bottom left corner? It's a different color than a regular gas mask, which means it lasts longer. And he's taking full advantage of it. One thing to note here as we wrap up this match and see how it ends up, always reload whenever you have a chance. Always. Because no matter how good of a player you are, if you get caught needing to reload, it won't make any difference if you're the better player. Okay, so somebody's got their eye on Olig-wan, trying to take him out. Audio cues. Listen. There he is. Olig-wan heard the audio cues and was able to get the drop on this guy.
Gas is inbound. Walk it off.
Yep, the reload.
Only 5 remain.
Yep, that's just bad luck. It's just unfortunate. It's just bad luck. Even when you're the better player, like Olig-wan probably was, got caught with the reload. So great game, Olig-wan. Thanks for letting us use your gameplay. And if you want to see a video about the C58 and why it is one of the best assault rifles in the game if you're a pretty accurate player, check out this video here.